never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me, yeah. Wait, I think I'll last a bit longer. Find another.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. I was going to talk NASCAR today, but I decided that I'll talk about who won the opening weekend's races from Daytona coming up later on this week when we talk about the races that are coming up next weekend, because today I want to give my thoughts on the NBA All-Star Game, since we are right in the middle of the NBA All-Star break. Before I do that, though, let's talk about the top 10 seeds in the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. On the Eastern side, number one seed right now is the Boston Celtics, followed by the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Milwaukee Bucks, who are only 3-8, I believe, since they hired Doc Rivers as their head coach. New York Knicks, number 4, and the Philadelphia 76ers are the 5 seed right now. And then we have the Indiana Pacers, the Miami Heat, the Orlando Magic, Chicago Bulls, and the Atlanta Hawks right now are the 10 seed. 2.5 games up on the 11 seed, which right now is the Nets. So, as of right now, the Indiana Pacers at number 6 would be the last team to actually make the playoffs and be in a actual playoff bracket and play in a series. Of course, 7 through 10 would play in the play-in tournament, and the 2 winners of that make the playoffs, and the 2 losers go home. Over on the Western side, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Denver Nuggets, the Phoenix Suns, the New Orleans Pelicans, the Dallas Mavericks, the Sacramento Kings, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the 10 seed right now in the Western Conference is the Golden State Warriors, and they have a 2.5 game lead on the Utah Jazz, who are currently the 11 seed. But Sunday night we had the NBA All-Star Game, and what an absolute joke. What a clown show. 211 to 186 was the final score. And I don't remember if it was an NBA insider or a social media type person for the NBA, or player, or just a diehard fan, who it was, but somebody got on Twitter either late Sunday night or early yesterday morning and said that they can't figure out why NBA fans say they want more scoring and they get more scoring in the All-Star game, but yet nobody watches because apparently the ratings this year were at an all-time low. But you have to decide, what do you want? Entertainment or basketball? And I've said for years that this is what's slowly but surely destroying the All-Star game, not just in basketball, but in every sport except baseball. I've said numerous times here on the channel that the only All-Star game in any sport that's worth a darn, that's worth watching, is baseball. For one, it's because baseball is the greatest sport there is, but for two, the game of baseball, the way it's played, fundamentally, you really can't change a whole lot. So if you watch the MLB All-Star game, it's just like watching a regular game with the exception of you have multiple teams on each team. But outside of that, the game is played the same way because you can't really change much about baseball. But in every other sport, you can change it. So they do. The NHL All-Star game is a joke. The Pro Bowl with the NFL has been a joke for a long time. And the NBA All-Star game is an absolute clown show. But besides the fact you see the score 211 to 186, if you look at the stats, I think there were a combined 289 shots taken from both teams. In a 48-minute game, 289 shots means there were 6 shots a minute, which basically that's an average of 10 seconds of possession. So you're really, truly just catching the ball, running up court, and shooting it. That's all you're doing. But that's basically what basketball has become now. I can remember growing up, and you were lucky if your team scored 100 points. There were a lot of restaurants back in the day for each home team in the NBA that if your team scored 100, you got a free entree the next day because you just didn't score 100 points. Now, that doesn't happen. Now teams get to 100 in the third quarter because the game has changed so much because fans said they wanted more points scored, so this is what you get. But even back when I was growing up and there was actually defense in basketball and you were lucky to score 100 in the game, you still had 155 to 140, 165 to 150 in the All-Star game because it's a glorified practice. All they do is run up and down the court. There's never any defense played, never has been, never will be. The referees don't call any fouls, never have, never will. It's basically the skills challenge that they have as part of All-Star Weekend in the game. You just run up and down the court and see what you can do. That's all you do. So do you want entertainment or do you want basketball? It's kind of the same way in football. You know, you ask older people about football now and they don't like it because when they were growing up, football was all about lining up and smashing somebody in the mouth. That was football. Now you basically line up and play 7-on-7 and outscore people. Is it more exciting? Absolutely. But it doesn't mean that it's football. If you watch an NBA game now, is it more exciting when the score is 141 to 138 as opposed to the final score being 95 to 90? Absolutely. But there's no defense in the game anymore. the fundamentals of the game are gone. It's just run up and down the court, get the ball fast as you can, and shoot the ball fast as you can. It's more exciting, but it's not basketball. Football is more exciting, but to the old school football fans, it's not football because the lining up and just smashing folks in the mouth is out of the game. Now you line up to outscore people, but it's because the fans say, hey, we want more offense, we want more action, and this is what you get. But Scott Van Pelt apparently took heat Sunday night because he said, if the players don't care, then why should us as fans care? And obviously they don't care because there's too many times in that game Sunday night, if you want to call that a game, where you can see players on defense have the other team just walk right by them, and the guys just have their arms out beside them. Don't even attempt to play defense. So you're showing everybody that you don't care. So Scott Van Pelt's right. The players don't care. And Damian Lillard, I believe, made 11 threes in the game and shot either 23 or 33 just threes. That's an absolute joke. And there were only 3 fouls called in the game. It's hard to foul somebody when nobody's playing any kind of defense whatsoever. So what do you want? Do you want entertainment or do you want basketball? Because 211 to 186 is definitely entertainment, but it's not basketball. Any thoughts on this? Please feel free to let me know. The people that hate basketball, this is the reason why they hate the NBA. This, combined with the fact that the superstars get preferential treatment, is the reason why the folks that hate the NBA hate the NBA. So the game is growing on a global scale. It's never going to catch the NFL, but it's a lot more popular now than it was 15, 20 years ago. But they're slowly losing the older fans because the game has changed so much. So yes, you're gaining new fans, but you're running off the older fans. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. I have a friend whose band is playing this weekend. He said the doors open at 7, but I'm pretty sure Jim Morrison is dead. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.